Thank you so much for making Locked on Auburn your first listen every single day. A lot of good things and bad things for Jackson Arnold. I think we saw two different sides of him. He made some solid throws. He overthrew some guys. But the main takeaway and question I think we all need to be asking about Jackson Arnold right now is pretty much the same question we were all asking going into the season. Felt better about it going into or leaving the Baylor game. And then it showed signs of, okay, is he holding onto the football too long against Ball State and South Alabama? And
not a state.
Once again, like I think in life, you find what you're looking for, right? So like if you wanted to find examples of Jackson not doing that in the first 2 games, you found it. And if you looked for examples of him doing that, you saw it. Obviously at Oklahoma, the game at Oklahoma, it was bad. I mean, there were situations of these 10 sacks, which I saw somewhere that it got adjusted to 9. I've only seen that at one spot, which whatever. I don't think the number actually matters. I think it's more about just the overall level of lack of presence that he has in the pocket. There is no clock going on in his brain when he drops back to pass. And I just don't know how you can do that. It's like the polar opposite of what we saw with Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham and Peyton Thorne, where they're in the pocket for a second and a half, and they're like, I got to leave the pocket. I got to get out of here. And so, like, I think a lot of quarterbacks, you want a little bit of that, just like over comfortable in the pocket. But there was a few, especially in the second half, when he's already been sacked like 7 times or whatever, and he's still just like not hurrying up his cadence at all. I don't know how you coach that out of him at this point.
Yeah, checking with Auburn's official box score, that is correct. It has been moved to 9.
Okay.
I don't know who lost one. It doesn't really matter. Point is, it's been adjusted down to 9 sacks.
They still have plenty.
They still have they still have plenty.
Yeah,
it's not the like it may not be a team record anymore, but it's still a lot of sacks.
I think it is. I think it still is a team record.
Sadly. Nice. That's great. Revenge games are real. In one way or the other. Like I've told you, I've always said this. So I think the big thing here, it's like the overcorrection is frustrating. And to me, I still feel like this is something you can work around if you understand why he's holding on to it. And by that, and this is partially my attempt to placate myself. So just work with me here.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk
through it.
Part of
me, like, there's a difference in holding onto the ball because you're locked onto a specific receiver and waiting for him to get open versus holding onto the ball because you can't see anyone get open, right? Like how much of this is, and I saw a couple freeze frames on the broadcast where they froze it and they looked and like there's 3 guys in the shot and they're all covered. Like that's one thing. It's one thing if you're locked onto Cam Coleman, waiting for him to get open before you throw the ball. It's also, you could argue, you don't have to wait for him to get open. 50-50 ball could get to him. But it's another thing if you're looking and looking and looking and can't find a guy. Because you can work around that, right? You can try to scheme different ways to, like, knowing why he's doing it, I think is important.
Sure.
But it does feel like it's not something you can fix. How do you just mitigate it, right? How do you work around it? Do you do timing plays where it's 1, 2, 3, ball out, right? You hit the back step of the drop back. This ball should be out. How do you work around it?
Yeah. Well, I think we've seen that Hugh Freeze isn't going to change stuff for his guy.
Yeah.
You're going to run wants a guy to come in and run his offense. I don't think he's at the point where he wants to mold around a guy. I think he wants a guy to come in and run his offense.
And there's pros and cons to that too.
There are pros and cons. He went out to get Jackson Arnold, and it sounds like there was kind of some disagreements within the staff of like which quarterback to go get. And he said, no, I want Jackson Arnold, which he should be able to do. He's the head coach. And I'm not saying it was the wrong decision, but I do think there are issues in Jackson Arnold's game that I don't know. It's not like he hasn't it's not like he's a freshman. He's been playing college football now for several years. And if there's not a clock in your head, like, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty remarkable that he'll just stand in the pocket after he's been hit 7 times. The fact that he's not like finicky or like antsy or afraid in the pocket. Like, I think in a lot of situations that's a net positive, but it was not on Saturday. The other side of this, while I'm not expecting like some flip to switch for Jackson Arnold as far as in the pocket, I don't think you're going to see a pass rush be able to do this to him again this year. A&M's got talent, but I don't think they do what Brent Venables likes to do at Oklahoma. Georgia, I'm a little concerned with. But everything after that, like those teams are good, but they're not to the level of what Oklahoma is able to do with their front seven, like what we saw on Saturday. So once again, it's what we said going into this stretch here. If you can survive the next two, I still think you're in an okay spot, but we'll see if Jackson can take that next step. But as of right now, I'm not holding my breath on it.
Yeah, I think your route to not have this be your problem comes down to the offensive line staying healthy, right? It's an incredibly experienced offensive line. They talked about that on the broadcast. They didn't show it on Saturday, but to your point, the defense was really good. And finding ways to just get the ball out quicker on RPOs feel like a great option for, hey, this is set up for either you throw the ball in the first two beats or you hand it off. It's hard to hold on to the ball when the design of the play is you throw it in the first second or you hand it off. There is ways, even without changing the offense, to kind of work around it a little bit. I do also worry about Georgia, to your point. I do worry a little bit about Alabama. They're not the same Alabama that they were, but they still
we don't know. I mean, both teams are going to be so different by the time they play.
Yeah. But we saw with Connor Lew going down a little bit, being out for a little bit on Saturday. You have a very experienced offensive line, but you sent in, I think, was it either a true freshman or a redshirt freshman to replace him?
Briefly. True freshman. He should be a senior in high school.
True freshman. Yeah, kid's the youngest kid playing college football. He's pulling Ryan Williams.
He's 17.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you have injuries down the stretch, even one of these teams that you don't worry about to the caliber of an Oklahoma or a Georgia could still give you problems with this. You're going to have to work on finding ways to force him to get the ball out sooner.
Yep.
Now, RPOs are a great thing because you also didn't run the ball a lot over the week on Saturday, and most of your yardage came on just two big plays.
Well, and that goes back to like Hugh Freeze is going to run his system, and his system is if you load the box to take the runaway, they're going to pass it. We saw it with Jarquez Hunter last year. We saw it on Saturday, and I mean, I said this leading it up to Oklahoma, like they're going to make him beat him with his arm, and he couldn't do it. Gosh, it was close. It was so close. We were talking about 1 foot difference, and it's a totally different game, but that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. So we'll see. We'll see if he can do it against Texas A&M. We'll talk more about that matchup later in the week.